Yo, check it. All right, yo, what's up? We got a weekly outlook and prediction banger for you guys. AMC and GME and the potential rally that we are about to see. We're going to break that down and tell you exactly what we need to see for AMC and GME to set up for a potential mega rally to the upside. But don't get too excited. We need to take things step by step. So I'm going to break it all down in this video. We're also going to be looking at SPY and potential Bitcoin breakout, which could see altcoins go flying. So you don't want to miss a second of this video. Let's not waste any more of your time and hop in the charts, facts, data. Let's go.
Hey fam, what is up? You are back for another video with DataZero. Let's go ahead and lock in. This is your weekly outlook and prediction coming out a little bit early. That way you have all day Sunday to analyze it, as I am dropping this here on Saturday night. So we're going to be looking into what we're looking at for next week. This week coming up is looking particularly well for the meme stocks. So we're going to talk about that in this video. Let's go ahead and hop right in and not waste any more of your precious time. So the first thing I want to point out here for AMC and GME is that AMC's cost to borrow is starting to creep to the upside. GME's cost to borrow is staying relatively low, but we are seeing it start to make spikes to the upside here periodically. We do want to see cost to borrow start to get a little bit higher. Cost to borrow for GME sitting at 0.40%, and then cost to borrow for AMC sitting at 1.66%. So you can see that cost to borrow is trending up, and you notice that cost to borrow has bottomed. This is typically indicative of when you see price bottom. When you see cost to borrow start to trend to the upside, price normally trends to the upside. We have seen this multiple times for the meme stocks. As when we've seen these big cost to borrow spikes, that's when price really starts to move, and I've shown that over time throughout each one of my videos. If you're just watching, maybe that concept is foreign to you, but if you've been tuned in, you've noticed that cost to borrow is a direct representation with price here on the meme stocks, and I show that all the time here on the video. So we're seeing cost to borrow start to move to the upside, which is a bullish sign for AMC. Another bullish thing here for GME is the options chain. I want to point out the options chain here for GME, and then I want to point out something here for AMC as well here in a second. But you can see that open interest is absolutely exploding. I'm going to the expiration date of October 25th, and you can see that the open interest is absolutely exploding, and AMC and GME both have bullish put to call ratios. If you go ahead and look at AMC put to call ratio, which is how many puts there are to calls, and anything lower than a score of 1.0 is sentiment, is showing bullish sentiment. So if you have something greater than 1.0 that's showing bearish sentiment, and you can see that AMC's put to call ratio is extremely low, 0.19%, showing a lot of bullishness for AMC stock. And if you go ahead and look at GME put to call ratio, and you can see that GME also has a very low put to call ratio, with GME having a ton of options coming up here on the expiration date of the 25th, which is going to be this upcoming Friday. So it looks like we could have a bullish week for the meme stocks and a bullish setup for a bullish next couple of weeks for the meme stocks. So this is bullish as we start to see the meme stocks really start to bottom after this huge accumulation range, form a bottom and start to move to the upside. Now, something very, very interesting for GME as well is this bullish pennant setup that you see here. You can see that we have this overall higher low setup, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then lower high, lower high, lower high. This is a bullish pennant as we are coiling up like a spring and about to see a breakout to the upside potentially here on GME stock based off what everything I'm seeing. It could break down, but based off everything what I'm seeing, again, nothing is guaranteed in the stock market, but based off what I'm seeing, it looks like we're going to break to the upside, and that could easily send GME up to $25.42 or even $30. And if GME does manage to break $30, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if it does manage to break $30 and hold that level, you're going to see things start to get really, really volatile, because every time we break above that $30 level, you can see that GME really starts to get crazy, and we start to see these bigger movements to the upside. What I think the meme stocks are doing, I think they are bottoming, and the macro is showing that we are forming a floor, which is going to start to move to the upside. It seems like AMC and GME are both starting to have this rally. They've consolidated for quite some time. They've built a floor, and now they are bottoming off of that floor once again, and we're about to see a rally to the upside. And if we can break out of these overall trading ranges, then we could see a movement to the upside. Both meme stocks are in a relative relative trading range. GME's is a lot more volatile, but if you cut out these two spikes here, it's basically like between $30 and $20. And if you look at AMC, it's basically between like $4 and $6. If we can break out of those perspective trading ranges, you could easily see a nice move to the upside. And with the setups that we have, GME with this bullish pennant setup and AMC with the setup that I'm going to talk about here, breaking out of this channel, we could see both of the meme stocks return to the levels that they need to return to, breaking out of this overall trading range. So this is why it's actually an exciting setup technically wise, because we've been basically trading flat. Again, it's been in an overall range. There has been ups and downs, which causes emotional changes and stuff like that. But overall, it's been in an overall trading range, and we could easily see these meme stocks finally break out of this trading range. So this is why it's an exciting setup technically. Now, AMC, I've talked about why it's bullish on the macro. We still have this green weekly MACD. We still have green monthly MACD as well. So both of the meme stocks are looking bullish here on the macro. If you go ahead and look at GameStop's monthly MACD, it's also green as well. Again, both meme stocks looking bullish on the macro. If we go ahead and look at the super trend and just pop that on here for AMC, you can see that we still have that weekly buy signal as well, which is a very rare signal that we only get when we have these bigger rallies to the upside. Again, sometimes we have some consolidation, but we have much bigger rallies to the upside when we get this weekly buy signal. Again, we had a move to the upside. We have this weekly buy signal. What's to say we can't have another move to the upside, similar to what we've seen when we've seen that massive movement to the upside in 2020 and 2021. Again, you see this big rally, you consolidate with that weekly buy signal, and then you get a big movement to the upside. What's to say we couldn't see something similar here as the meme stocks start to bottom and then break out of this overall trading range that they've been in? So I'm thinking for AMC and GME, the setup that we have, we're going to be able to see a green week, and this is the start of something that could be exciting. It's going to take time to play out because it's the macro, but we could see movement to the upside. We could see a breakout of this overall pennant shape here for GME this week, and we could see AMC start to move up, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. Let's break down GME's technicals here on the time frame on what we could expect for Monday, since I am predicting a green week for both AMC and GME. So you can see that GME is consolidating on this lower range after it came down for the gap fill and then bounced to the upside, which I said it would in the live stream on Friday. I said it has to come down for that gap fill. It's going to get a bounce. It did that. I think it's going to retest 2109, possibly come as low as 2098, but I think it's going to be able to just retest 2109, get a bounce, and then continue up from there. We want to see it above 2150. That's the goal for GME stock, and I'm going to go ahead and mark that level. We want to see it back above 2150, holding and confirming that level as support. That way we know, hey, it has bottomed, it's not going to downtrend anymore, and it's going to start recovering back to the upside, because we did see some pullback here on Friday for GME. But GME could come as low as like 2064 and just be retesting this lower end of this wedge and still be very, very bullish. Again, we could travel to the end of this wedge. I want to see a breakout to the upside of this wedge, retesting this upper sloping resistance, and that's why you need to like and subscribe so you can track this with me. I go live all the time, so you can check it out with me and stream it, so you guys can see it as it's happening, and I will report it as it's happening. But again, we could come as low. I want to see it retest this upper sloping resistance and then get a pop to the upside. That will confirm that we will be going towards 25 and possibly even $30 here for GME stock. So this is what I'm looking at for possibly over Monday and the rest of this week. Again, Monday we want to see above 2150. I think we're going to see a green week for GME stock. Now I'm going to go ahead and move into AMC and show you what I'm expecting for AMC. AMC does unfortunately have a gap fill down here at $4.21 and $4.23 in between that range, which does need to get filled. Now we do have a gap fill to the upside, and I want to see that gap fill to the upside get filled, but we have to be aware of that gap fill to the downside. So if we see AMC start to dump, it's probably going to go for that gap and then get a bounce back to the upside, similar to what you've seen for GME. But AMC is looking particularly bullish right now, like it's going to set up for a movement to the upside. I'm going to explain why. It's breaking out of a channel. Now, I talked about extensively on why AMC is bullish here on the Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. All the information is down below, but we are flashing many, many bullish signals. You can see that we have this green daily MACD, and all of these green dots are bullish signals. I talked about that bullish engulfing. I talked about several signals earlier this week. as why AMC was bullish, or earlier this previous week on why AMC was bullish, and all of that started to play out. We did hold $4 at the bottom. I did call out that $4 would most likely be the bottom, especially if GME held $20. GME held $20, and we did get a nice bounce off of $4. Now we are moving past that critical level of $4.20, and I told y'all once we get above $4.20, that is confirming that GME has bottom. So in my personal opinion, it looks like $4 is going to be the bottom, and GME is about to move to the upside, especially because we're breaking out of this overall channel. I said if we break out of this channel, this could easily send us back up to $4.50 or $5, and that's where things could really start to get interesting for AMC, because it starts moving towards that $6 range, and that's where we could break out and potentially see a higher move to the upside and confirm AMC macro bottom and start pushing up and potentially see that weekly buy signal and that bigger rally play out. So this is why it is an interesting setup right now for AMC if we could break out of this overall trading range, but we want to take things one step at a time. So again, that's why you want to like and subscribe so you can track this along with me as I break down the technicals each and every day and daily and weekly updates. So you can see here that we have this buy signal here on the 4-hour time frame. We also have green daily MACD. So this is very, very bullish. We also have green weekly MACD and green monthly MACD. So we are set up for a bullish push in my personal opinion. We're flashing multiple bullish signals, and we are showing that AMC has a floor of $4. It's not going lower than $4, and we're getting a nasty bounce to the upside, breaking out of this overall channel. This is very, very good for AMC stock to see a continuation to the upside. What I want to see AMC do this week is break above the key level of 442. If we can break and hold 442, you're going to see a nice push to the upside, especially if we can get above like 450, where the gamma could really start to kick in. And again, I might have a potential play for you guys in the Discord. So if you are in the Discord, make sure you're looking in the AMC and GME chat and the alerts for that update. If you want to get in the Discord, go ahead and hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5, link down in the description if you want to get that information. But this is what I'm looking at for AMC. I think we're going to see a green week and potentially could be exciting. AMC is setting up for a nice move where it could at least pull off a 10 or 15% green week. So we could see a nice move to the upside since we are breaking out of this overall channel and confirming this $4 bottom. This could easily send us flying to the upside, especially if we can get above that key level of 450 and that support and resistance at 442. I think we're going to do that probably early this week, and if we do, as we get close to Friday, then we could see that gamma really start to kick in, and we could get an easy 5, 10, maybe even 15% green day here for AMC stock, because once it starts to move, it is going to move quickly. Some things you could look out for to see if this thing's really going to start to take off is volume. If you see volume pick up, that is a clear indication that, hey, something is up and this thing's going to be definitely making a move. But everything I'm looking at right now is just showing that bullish momentum is going to continue. Again, we have these super trends going off. We have the alligator showing clear upside, bullish flip momentum here on multiple time frames on the lower and higher time frame, clear uptrend. We have this bullish consolidation. We're just holding levels after this nice push to the upside. Yes, we do have this gap fill to the downside, but everything that I'm looking at here shows that we're going to see a continuation and be breaking above 450 this week, in my personal opinion. Again, I want to see a clean break above 442, and if we can hold that level, that will confirm that, yes, we are going to 450. So I want to see a clean break above 442, holding that level, and if it does, that's going to be confirming, yeah, we're going to 450, and then that's where that potential gamma ramp could start to kick off, and AMC could really start to move. If we break above that early this week, that would be very, very good. I'm going to be streaming, so make sure you guys tune in to get this updates as they do become available. So this one I'm looking at for AMC, what I'm expecting on Monday is basically a retest of 434. We could go as low as 432. But I think we're going to go to 434 and get a bounce to the upside. I think AMC is actually that bullish where it's just going to retest this lower level here and get a push up. And if it does do that early morning, that's going to be a very good sign that, yes, we are indeed going past 450 this week. So that's what I'm looking at here for AMC. And again, once we get up to 450, there's nothing stopping us from getting towards 5 and then $5.56. Then that's where things could really start to get interesting. And then same thing for GME. Once GME gets above, like, I would say $25, there's nothing to stop it from going to about 30. So that's what I'm looking at for the meme stocks. Let's go ahead and move into SPY and then cryptocurrency quickly and then wrap up this video. So SPY, I think, is going to be making a higher high coming up to about 588, 589. Now, could it go higher than that? Yes, but I think that's where it's going to be going at least this week, putting in a new high. Now, what it needs to do to break above that new high is break above 585.17 cleanly and hold that level. If you see SPY stock do that, that is going to confirm that we're seeing a movement to the upside. Nvidia is continuing to drive the market higher, breaking out of this overall pennant setup that I talked about. I told you guys that it would be coming to that 133 level at minimum. It is using that level as support, and since it's using that level as support, it's going to push towards that 141.59 level that I have marked here and 141.04 level. And if it does break above that, there's nothing stopping it from going higher, because it is going to do all-time high and then go into price discovery. But that's not saying after that it won't pull back, and I think that's actually what's going to be the case, because my tracking with NASDAQ has been very, very on point, and NASDAQ's what's really driving this market. You can see that NASDAQ has a potential rising wedge here on the macro and has been tracking with this prediction. I have not moved this white dotted line. If you've been following my channel, you've seen that this white dotted line has been the same. I've been tracking with NASDAQ, and it's been tracking with this macro prediction for quite some time. So I think that we're actually going to see NASDAQ push slightly higher, taking SPY to a new all-time high, and then actually start to pull back. Now, we could travel up to the end of the tip of this rising wedge and then break down, making a slightly higher high or maybe similar high, forming an overall double top formation, especially with this bear flag or rising wedge structure. That is very, very bearish for the overall market, and I still think we are going to see a pullback, in my personal opinion. I know people who think that this thing could keep going up forever, but based off what I see here on the macro, we're set up for a decent pullback, especially with what all you see going on in the Middle East with all of the global conflicts, and things are heating up. North Korea is even getting involved. If you're paying attention, things are crazy. I'm going to be talking about all of it on the live stream. If you haven't been paying attention to the global news, you really need to pay attention, because things are literally getting absolutely wild as far as WW3 is concerned. It is a real fear. It's not just fear mongering like North Korea getting involved. Like, it's just wild. But we'll talk about that and dive deeply more on that on the overall live stream. But again, things are not set up for the market to be at all-time highs. I think that we're actually going to set up for a vicious 2025 year. Big companies like McDonald's are saying that the consumer is tapped. Yes, we got some decent data coming out last week, and we do want to watch for the data drops this week. We only have one data drop here, which is going to be durable goods, which is the biggest one. We might have some two-star impact stuff, but nothing really crazy going on this week like some of the other weeks. But we do want to pay attention here on Friday, durable goods month over month. What I'm expecting for SPY is basically pushing up for that new all-time high around 588, 589, and then having an overall pullback. But this should be able to pull off an overall green week for SPY, as the momentum seems to be trending up, and then we need to see that blow off top before an overall pullback, in my personal opinion. Again, NASDAQ has been tracking with this quite well, and I think it's going to continue to track. Once NASDAQ pulls back, it's going to take SPY with it, and if we break down out of this rising wedge and create a double top, that's going to lead to a decent bout of pullback here for the overall market, and then we will be watching as that continues, and obviously be breaking that down if that is what we do see the market end up doing. So this is what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall market. I do think we're going to see a green week, pushing up towards those price targets that I gave you, and then coming back down to fill all of these gap fills that we've made on the way up on this massive rally to the upside for the overall market. Let's go ahead and move into Bitcoin. Bitcoin getting very, very interesting. As you can see, Bitcoin starting to break out of this overall bull flag structure, and we've been talking about this for a long time here on the channel, that this has potentially been an overall accumulation range for BTC. Now, I put out this tweet here for BTC saying that I think it's going to go to 80K, and I obviously put the tweet out there to give proof that if it does go to 80K, I can say, hey, I told you this was an accumulation range, and we did see that pump to the upside. I see us, we're in this overall bull flag, and I think that we're breaking out of this accumulation range. If we get those rate cuts that I'm expecting here in November, that could add to more risk on trading and help devalue the dollar, which could see Bitcoin push even higher and make altcoins go crazy as well. I think that if Bitcoin does see this bull flag breakout, it's going to really help altcoins, because we're going to see Bitcoin start to get to that euphoria stage, and we could see a nice run, especially if we break above 80K and go into price discovery mode. There's no telling that Bitcoin couldn't go into 100K or much higher. I think that Bitcoin is actually going to continue going up based on the inflation of the dollar. The dollar continues to devalue. Bitcoin cannot be printed. It cannot be inflated. Therefore, if you are measuring against the dollar, it is going to continue to cost more and more dollars to buy less and less BTC, especially as BTC becomes more scarce as they mine all of the Bitcoin. That's why proof of stake and having a fixed cap and being decentralized are all things that you would want for something to hold value. And once you really understand that, that's why Bitcoin seems to be superior and why the overall trend seems to be up. This is why I'm very, very bullish on BTC. It is fundamentally based on why I'm so bullish on BTC, and then the technicals back it up as we do have this overall uptrend. Also looking at things like the overall rainbow chart. Let's see if I can go ahead and find it here. It just shows that BTC is not overvalued right now. I know prices are close to all-time high, but you can see that it's still basically a fire sale based off of the overall macro. And you can see that each time we have a halving, BTC after the halving rallies, well, we just had a halving a few months ago, and you can see we haven't had a massive rally. Each halving, you can see we had one here, we had a rally, had one here, had a rally. Well, we've had a halving. Are we going to get that post-halving rally like we normally see for BTC, like we have in every other cycle? If history is anything to judge by, we will be seeing another move to the upside, and we are set up for another move, coincidentally, with this bull flag structure, which could take us to 80 or even 100K per BTC. And if BTC does see those levels, altcoins are going to be moving with it, and altcoins have been getting pumps recently as Bitcoin is starting to pick up momentum and starting to get bullish again. You can see things like Doge are up 30%. Doge has been making moves. Shiba is up as well. Some of these meme coins going crazy. So the altcoin market is definitely starting to pick up, and gains are definitely starting to come from the crypto world. Again, not financial advice, but I am very, very bullish on BTC, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies. Most of my portfolio is BTC, but I do hold some altcoins. And you can see we've had a nice week here, up 8.96% here on BTC as we break out of this overall bull structure. If you see green, weekly MACD go green, that could send BTC flying, and you can see that we're about to get a green weekly MACD flip here right now. So again, good reasons to be bullish on BTC right now, as we could be pushing towards new all-time highs any moment for Bitcoin. So I'm very, very excited on what we could potentially see here in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market. Ladies and gentlemen, this was your weekly outlook and prediction. If you found this video informative, go ahead and drop a like and press subscribe for more content like this. And I absolutely appreciate all of the love and appreciation that you guys show. Make sure you show your love down in the comments. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace.
All right, y'all, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like, press subscribe for more content like this, and I appreciate you for watching the end, because so few people watch the end. Let me know in the comments down below if you watch the end, and as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace.